All right, guys, we are back, and I'm here talking about all the things that I love. And if you know me, you know health and wellness is a non-negotiable for me. And I've had the honor and truly grateful to be able to interview some super interesting people in this space, whether it's meal prep, biohacking, optimizing aging, clean water, all the things, right? I'm all about it because these are things that I do in my own life. So whenever I can have someone come on and talk about their journey and what their story is and their why, especially in this space, I'm all about it because, as I've said before, sharing your story is so important and not sharing would be selfish. So today, I have a very special guest. Not only is she a woman, but her business is woman owned, obviously, but she is a dietitian, a Mediterranean cuisine dietitian. She does meal prep. She's getting ready to launch her virtual 7 days to realistic wellness event, which is virtual. And she's doing all the things. So if you're a woman, you obviously know that as we age, our bodies change, whether it's hormonal, whether it's emotional, spiritual, our bodies change, men too. But I think women, we tend to take on changes a lot differently. So having a clean diet is super important for us, and having someone prepare that meal for you, whether it's meal prep or a special occasion, is super important. So today we have Kelly on.
Hi.
Hello. We're going to have her tell us all about her journey, about this virtual wellness program that she has that's launching in 2 weeks. And really what I want to know is, with the meal prep world and cuisine, there's so many niches. And you have focused on something that I feel is super unique, even though we all know Mediterranean cuisine is like the best. It's so clean and so healthy.
And delicious.
Right. And why did you, okay, tell me about your journey. How did you come to be this person in this space? Like what day, when did you wake up and go, I'm going to stop doing and I want to become a Mediterranean cuisine dietitian? Like, where did that happen?
Yeah, I know the exact moment. It was when I was in bed. It was like late, I think like 4 a.m. I was in Rome. I was getting a graduate degree there. And
sorry, it couldn't be just in the backyard of San Diego. It had to be like, oh, Rome. Okay.
it's the Mediterranean tie, right? Yeah. And so I was studying. I was getting a graduate degree. I was building out a meal plan program for my thesis and I was going to run a pilot study for it, get data, evaluate it, whatnot. And I was actually seeing somebody. I was dating an Italian guy there, and I had put together, he came over late, I think, and I put together a meal with some stuff that I had prepped in advance. And so the meal came together super quick, but it did take a little bit of time because I had to make farro. I had to make a grain. And then later, as I was laying in bed, I had to get up early because I was going to visit my brother, I think, who was and still is in London. And so I had a flight to catch. And so I was just kind of trying to sleep, but not asleep. And I just had this moment where I realized, because before that I had already been a dietitian, and I really wanted to, it just all clicked. I realized I wanted to help people learn how to cook in a very sustainable and empowering way. That really left them feeling confident and comfortable in the kitchen, and in a way that was approachable and realistic. So it's not like we're deboning a duck on a Tuesday, but it was just like, how do we assemble
deboning a duck on Tuesday?
How do we assemble a meal ideally in like less than 20 minutes, 10 minutes if we can. And it was that meal, that dinner, because I made farro with some chicken and like a lemon yogurt and some crushed pistachios, I think. And it was
so
good. Spiced chicken. It was really good. And so it was, again, if I would have just had my grain prepped, like my other things, I made the yogurt sauce super quickly, crushed the pistachios, whatnot, it would have been a 10-minute meal. And so it was then that I was like, this is it for me. It's bringing or blending culinary nutrition and my nutrition education and expertise as a dietitian together to really empower people, particularly women, to live more of a Mediterranean lifestyle, find more ease and peace and joy with food, allow themselves to eat more like intuitively in a sense. And so it kind of was then that it was just the culinary, the Mediterranean, the nutrition education that really all came together.
So 4 a.m. in Rome, en route to London. What was the first gig, if you will, out the gate?
When I finished my graduate degree, I really started working for myself. I came back to the States, and I had worked as a dietitian for years before going back to school and getting a graduate degree. I lived up in the city in San Francisco, so I was up in the Bay. There, I was working with a small team trying to, like most people in the Bay, build a startup, a nutrition software company, essentially. And then I was working in eating disorders at a residential level of care for about 3 years. That was weighing on me. It's beautiful, but heavy work. And the startup didn't launch. And so that's why I left and I moved to Rome. So I had some years, in a sense, under my belt in the nutrition space. And so I always knew I wanted to start a private practice. So when I came back, I started my private practice. I continued to build out my meal plan program. It's called Weeknight Dinners, that I started or piloted for my graduate thesis. And then to supplement that, I managed a kitchen and worked as a private chef for a family up in San Francisco.
So you really have extensive experience in the chef world, the cuisine world, the meal prepping world.
Very comfortable in the kitchen.
Kind of mentioned something. So let's just talk about the Mediterranean cuisine, because I know just even listening to you say that and describe it, it's a lighter feeling, right? The food seems, because we have been so indoctrinated in our country to eat excessively. And it doesn't matter if it's non-GMO, because we still don't know if it truly is. Because the only way that I have a lot of food intolerances, can eat clean and healthy is when I go to Europe, right?
You can feel better.
Right.
Yeah, the food's produced a little bit differently.
So let's talk a little bit about the Mediterranean cuisine. And you mentioned something about women and helping them feel healthier and be the best versions. And we know food is medicine.
Yeah.
So what made you focus on that? Because I think it's brilliant, because I don't think anybody focuses, because women, we are wired differently.
Yeah.
Like our health, we process things differently. Our bodies break down, digest it. We just do things differently. So what made you want to focus on women?
Yeah. So I think, to one of your other points too, like feeling different in Italy, we don't have a food culture really, unfortunately, in this country, right? It's diet culture, which is really heavily imposed on women. And I saw that, always growing up and just living life, but especially in working in eating disorders and how disproportionate it can be, and that it typically is. It's not to say that men don't have eating disorders. There are many that do, or a form of disordered eating, but collectively speaking, it is a heavier hand on women in a sense. And I connect with it. It's my community, right? And I think there's a lot of missed opportunity for support for women as they age, have different milestones, new moms, like there's different times where we need more support than is often provided, or even just more conversation than is even being had, And so for me, it was, I think it's a blend of personal, like relation, being a woman, my community, seeing this disproportionate, like impact of diet culture in a sense, and really just wanting to help make change and shift that where and how I can.
It's interesting because I think, not I think, but I know in our country, women, we are so hyper-focused on dieting.
Yeah.
Right? And even now, I mean, there's so many fads, carnivore diets. I mean, there's 4 food groups for a reason. Right.
Well, we have macronutrients. They're essential. We need them. All of them. We don't need to demonize any of them.
Right. And I feel like that's a key word right there. I feel like we demonize food. And again, and I'll speak from experience, and growing up, I had an eating disorder, right? I was anorexic. And for me, food was the demon. It really was, and I felt like, because and it goes back to a lot of emotional issues too, as you're aging and whatnot. I couldn't control certain aspects of my life, so I controlled the food intake. Right. Yeah. So for me, growing out of that and having gone through therapy to heal from that, I've gone the opposite direction. I love food. Right. Like food is as much as I can possibly eat. Let's eat it, but it has to be quality food. It has to be food that I know what the macros and the micronutrients and all of these things, and it has to be sourced well. So given that as women, we demonize, right, food, what part of your journey, what was it that was relatable there for you, right? Aside from wanting women to feel better about themselves and helping them. What resonated with you along your journey at some point to say, hey, this is something I could really wrap my head around? But as you said, it's beautiful work, but it's very heavy. It is very, very heavy. And I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
So what made you say, let me focus on this for a little bit? And then obviously the burden that you carried, I think, with you kind of was too much, right?
Yeah. On a personal note, I found myself having a nightcap like after shifts, and that's not me. And it was kind of then when I noticed I was trying to find ways to disconnect from the work, and I didn't want to live in that space. And so I knew I needed a shift, a reset in a sense. I was always interested in eating disorders, sports nutrition, and there's a triad with usually female athletes, eating disorders, like female athletes and eating disorders. It can go hand in hand. When I was in my internship before becoming a dietitian, I opted to do electives, and my preceptor or the dietetic director was wonderful and very like good at placing people where it was a good fit. And so I had the opportunity to do a sports nutrition rotation. I had the opportunity to do an eating disorder rotation. I'm very fascinated by like the mind and behavior change and why we are the way we are, why we do the things that we do. And a lot of the work, to your point earlier, with eating disorders, with disordered eating, with diet culture, it's reframing, it's shifting. It's a lot of, and to a certain extent, when there's medical necessity, things shift and change. And this still stays true there, but there's other things needed. But there's a lot of nutrition, like therapy in a sense, a lot in the one-on-one work that I do, and I'm fascinated by it. I think it's thrilling. It's so interesting. And I think too, there was another particular moment when you were asking that question that came up for me when I was working at the eating disorder clinic. I had a very, very, very dear friend at the time who also had an eating disorder. And we had taken a like girls retreat up in Calistoga, a short drive from San Francisco. And it was at this beautiful resort, the Solage. It's very nice. And they have a beautiful restaurant. And it was this whole package with like a mud bath and like spa services and like workout classes. It was just a lovely weekend. Yeah. But we went to the restaurant, and she had a blog, and she was a runner, a very active runner, and we shared a beautiful meal together. And the whole time, like I love food. Like I love food. If I always say, if I could find a man that loves me as much as I love food, I would be the happiest woman in the world,
for sure.
And so I had this beautiful experience with my meal, and I'm very vocal about like food and my love for it, and like the texture and the flavor and the acidity and the balance. And it's a beautiful thing. Yeah. And so I'm having this whole experience with it. And after the fact, she had written a post about her experience with it. And it was beautiful. She dedicated it to me and like was so grateful to see how I experienced that meal and what my relationship to it was and to food was. But it also brought up, how stark it was and how different it was from hers. Yeah. And just the little bit of, I think, hope that it brought her to see and to like know that there is another experience, there is another way. It really resonated with me. And I think I feel I'm very fortunate. I've had a very good relationship with food. I lived with a chef for 9 years. I am very comfortable in the kitchen. I've spent a lot of time like fully immersed in this culture and community that has such a strong, positive relationship with food. Yeah. So I've lived it. I've experienced it. And any bit of that I can bring to women here and help them pull even just a little bit away from diet culture and find more pleasure in food, like that's the most rewarding work for me to do.
And you said something very key, right? It's about the relationship with food, right? It's about that. And I feel like anything else in life that we go through that we might potentially fear, once you make friends with it, then your mind, shift, right? Things shift. Yeah. Like, for example, if you're going to do a detox, right? If you make friends with the fact that, yes, it's probably going to get worse before it gets better, it's not going to be as bad as you think it is because it's all up here, right? Well, and I feel like the relationship with our food, right? Like for me, when I was going through my season of having a disorder, I would look at, I can't have that carb because carb is going to make me fat, right? Now I'll eat potatoes all day. I'm a potato girl, right? Love potatoes, sweet, whatever.
Sweet potato for breakfast.
Right. That's just my jam now. And I love rice and I love all the things now. And it was really about the psychology behind, well, why are you afraid of that? It's not, that doesn't make you fat.
Yeah.
That's not what makes you fat. So I think that when we as women especially can shift our perspective and say, you know what, I want a good relationship with food, then our experiences become different because dining out to me is beautiful.
Yeah.
I love dining out. I love everything that goes with it. I love the presentation. I love the preparation. I love the first course, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth. And you don't get that sort of dining here. Few places do it.
Yeah, it's hard.
Right?
I'm constantly disappointed if you have any recommendations.
Right? But given the space that you're in, you have the ability to create that experience for people.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of the myths that there are in this diet culture of ours and the business that you have. What are a few, what's one myth that you wish, one myth in this space that you feel like most people would stop believing? Like, let's stop believing A.
Yeah. Right now that you need over like 200 grams of protein a day.
Oh my gosh.
Because it always
gosh.
Right? Like first it was, from at least what I remember, it was demonizing like fat and then carbs. And then now I even with 5 years ago, I would have said like, oh, protein's kind of safe. Like it's been safe. And instead of going in that direction where it's don't consume it, it's an overconsumption.
So much.
And when that happens with anything, when we fixate our focus on any macronutrient, on any ingredient, on any item, we often lose the other thing.
Yeah.
Like, where's your fiber coming in from, right?
Yeah.
Like, if we're eating so much, how are we meeting our other needs? And that's why I love the Mediterranean diet, because it's so well balanced.
Yeah.
It doesn't demonize food groups or specific foods, and it's sustainable, right? And it gives you everything that you need. It's plant forward. It's naturally high in fiber. It has healthy fats. Like it's a great diet that is hopefully, I would hope people would feel approachable because, and it's a tool that can be used to improve your relationship with food, right? Because you can build out balance, like with breakfast, lunch, and dinner and have so much variety, but you're still meeting your needs and eating very well from a nutritional perspective.
And there's so much variety too, right? I mean, it's just, to me, it's such a beautiful, the cuisine is so beautiful.
It is.
It really is. It's very, very simple and less is more for sure.
Yeah.
So, okay. So that you don't need 200 grams of bread. And that is so true because that is the hype right now.
Yeah.
Focus on your protein. And I just don't understand. No wonder people have such gut dysbiosis. It's like, what is going on?
A variety is key. It really is. And it's also too, like, you can let a cookie be a cookie or let a donut be a donut. Like maybe we're not going to have it every breakfast or every day. And maybe we're going to pair it with some protein and some fruit, right?
Yes.
Like what do we do? How do we, I'm huge on enhancing things. Like enhancing things rather than restricting things is like the direction to go in, or at least in the work that I do. It has a positive association. It's empowering, and it allows you to take what you currently do and improve it and improve it and improve it and improve it. And eventually you can change your entire diet, your intake for the entire day, for the week, for the month, for the year, for your life.
I love that you take that approach. That, it's because we spend so much of our time talking about what we can't have and what we can't do, rather than, oh my gosh, okay, so you want that? And again, this goes back to, we talked about this before we came on camera, intuitively eating, right? If you listen to your body and it tells you, like, for example, I love French fries. Love them. I can eat them every day. Tater tots all day. Truffle oil, all of it, right? Just give it to me. I'll eat it. So if I feel like eating it, or if I feel like having a pizza, I'm going to eat it, right?
Yeah.
But how can I enhance it?
Exactly.
Right?
What can you add?
Let me add the chicken to it so that the protein is there, so that I don't feel like I'm depriving myself and eating the whole darn thing.
Yeah, so you're actually full for 3 to 4 hours.
Yes.
As a meal should provide.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So I love that you take that approach. So it really sounds like you take not just a holistic approach, but you really do take into consideration the mind, spirit, body, and soul. Like you really do take that approach. What makes what you do different than the traditional meal prep company that's out there, focusing on your macros, focusing on your protein intake, focusing on, the lean size versus the active size? What makes you different?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I'll preface that by saying and now I teach my clients how to do it. I don't provide it, right? Like I know we had talked about I launched Nourish for a little period last year where I was trying to scale a Mediterranean influenced meal delivery company here. But with my practice, it's a whole business and there's a lot to it. So, because I love feeding people, but it's just not where I want to focus my energy right now. But I think it's variety, right? Like it's making sure that you enjoy, it's that pleasure component. And I mean, I haven't tried a lot of these meal delivery companies here in San Diego. I cook, so for me, I do it for myself and I teach my clients how to do it. And it focuses a lot on ingredients and then having those ingredients stocked, like the kitchen stocked with those ingredients to where you can take them and make a salad, make a burrito bowl, make like tacos, make a balanced plate. Like you can repurpose things a lot. And so it's again, going back to the simplicity of the Mediterranean diet, it's prepping things to where it's simple and then you can enhance again, right? Like add a lemon yogurt sauce, add a lime crema, add a salsa, add some spices, some fresh herbs. Whatever it is that you want to end up with, do like Asian inspired like sauces and flavors and whatnot. So you can have so much variety naturally like that. But it's again, and it's, I think instead of focusing, what I do with my clients, if they're comfortable with numbers, is I share a nutrition prescription plan with them. And then I offer a high level of support. So I use that information to build out resources, recipes, tools. So I remove as many barriers of entry as possible. So it's easy for them to implement, make change. But with that being said, they then just take this education, these resources, these recipes, and use it as a tool, or it's essentially practical nutrition education because you learn how your plate should look, right? With what your needs are and this recipe. In time, if you make a couple different things and you start to eat more frequently throughout the day, so you're more mindful at mealtime, you have more control over what you eat, how you eat, when you eat, and why you eat. When you sit down to eat, then you can really reconnect with your hunger cues, with your body, eat an appropriate portion, feel good after, and have a positive relationship with food. So you slowly can shift that. It's absolutely possible. We're all born intuitive eaters, right? Like it's a natural thing that we have.
There's science behind this.
Yeah, but it also can be so simple. So simple.
Yeah.
And so it's instead of, because it can be so stressful to like be, I have to hit this amount of macros. It's this amount of chicken. I have to weigh it out. I have to put it on my plate. Like
it's too much work.
It removes so much joy. And then you often end up with, like a lot of these meal companies can be, steamed broccoli and brown rice and baked chicken. And you eat that Monday through Friday or Monday through Thursday. Maybe you go out Friday and then maybe you binge all weekend because you've had no pleasure throughout the week and no joy with food, right?
So no variety.
It's the variety and the pleasure, I think. And then just, working one-on-one, it allows for you to support people in such a different way. And it's a beautiful thing, but
you've just said so many very important things that people, again, we're going to go back to, if you keep eating the same thing, you can develop a food sensitivity. Truly,
you can in time,
right? Because you have to have the variety. If you don't have the variety, then what are we doing? What are we doing? And you have to have color on your plate.
Yeah, that's ideal.
Color is
with the seasons. Naturally gives you that.
Like what's in season right now?
Summer squash. I just went to the farmer's market and got some beautiful squash. Bell peppers are in season. Tomatoes are in season. And fruit-wise, you can get stone fruit right now. Plums I got last week.
Oh my God.
And I got like purple, like rich, like plums, but then green plums.
Oh my God.
My favorite stand at the farmer's market has the best fruit. And they have green plums, purple plums, but they have these mango nectarines and peaches, like stone fruits in season.
Wow.
And it's so good. Like it's dessert, it's delicious.
So you've taken your journey and all of these epiphanies you've had along the way. You're helping women. You've really kind of touched upon a very sensitive part of a woman's existence, and that's eating disorders, right? You're empowering women, men too, but it sounds like we're really just empowerment is what it is.
Yes.
Really not taking away, but adding to, enhancing your experience, reframing your perspective on food, your relationship with it, so that it is an enjoyable experience, and you're being nourished at the same time.
Yeah.
Now you're getting ready to segue into the 7 Days to Realistic Wellness, which is a virtual event. Tell us a little bit about that, because for me, I'm all about community.
Yeah.
And I'm all about women, empowering them, supporting one another, and feeling the best that we can feel. Because, as a woman, we have so many things that we deal with between hormones, and if you're a mother, you have children, all the emotions all the pressure, all the stress.
Yeah.
The last thing we need to really worry about is food.
Yeah.
And being able to be in a space where it's of like-minded individuals, where you're going to have good food, workouts. Tell me about the 7 days to reset. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So it's like a virtual retreat essentially. And like for those who can't get away or want to reset and gently, like through Whole Foods. So it's 7 days. It's a blend of nutrition support, movement. I partnered with Activate House here in San Diego.
Love them.
Stephanie is going to run 2 virtual workouts. Everything will be recorded. It's all optional, but you can always revisit the recordings as well, too. And then a sound healer who is going to be doing a live virtual sound bath on Wednesday. So a nutrition kickoff call with me, get questions answered, talk through. There's a 70-page booklet or PDF that comes with it with a 7-day meal plan, recipes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They're all very practical. It's like under 20 minutes, if not 5. And also 2 batch cook guides. So if you want to prep ahead on Sunday or Wednesday, like 45 minutes, maybe an hour, you can prep some grains, you can maybe make some protein, roast some vegetables. I don't know. I don't remember what the exact menu is. It's seasonal, so it's aligned with summer. And it's very, very, very heavily Mediterranean, inspired and focused. So we'll talk through all of that. I'll probably do like a little demo or talk about something that, share, cook something together or whatnot, answer questions. And then Tuesday morning is a workout. Wednesday evening is a sound bath. Thursday morning is a workout. Sunday, there's a closeout nutrition call with me. We'll talk about what worked, what didn't work, integration, like how do we maintain these habits, carry things through until the next one. It's a quarterly thing, so I'm going to run it seasonally. This is the first big launch, which I'm just so excited about. I'm excited to have partners as well and to incorporate more of a holistic approach, right? So there's support because like you said, so much can be done in community. Like it can change so much. Feeling supported and to that, for the whole 7 days, there's a WhatsApp group where everybody can come together,
talk,
and ask questions. Talk to me about your grocery shopping trip. Are you at Costco? What are you buying? What's in your pantry? What nutrition questions do you have? So I'll moderate that, offer support daily. Everyone can encourage, support, and inspire one another as well, too. And then I got a ton of sponsors, brand sponsors. So the first 30 people who sign up, I'll mail or ship a wellness box too, which I'm really excited about because it has a lot of products in it that I really believe in.
Wonderful. So this is really about building community.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's a 7-day.
7 days. So it's totally approachable. Take what you want from it, leave what you don't. You can always revisit it. Yeah. It's a good way if you've been thinking about kind of touching any of these things or even maybe working with a dietitian or asking questions. It's a good way to have access.
So what can one expect working with you?
Yeah, a lot of support. Behavior change is hard, especially around food, like we've been talking about.
Very much.
But if you build out a team, or if you have a team, if you have support, it makes it a lot easier to make change. If it's one-on-one, we would have 50-minute sessions. Essentially, you get resources after. Very big on habit stacking, not trying to jump in the deep end all at once. We're going to get our toes wet. We're going to start with maybe one meal. Maybe it's breakfast. Maybe it's dinner. Maybe it's lunch. Maybe you're traveling, and that's where we're going first, right?
That's the hardest thing to do when you're traveling is to eat well.
Hard, pack.
Especially in airports.
Pack snacks and follow your eating schedule. So you can do it. It can be done. But yeah, and then you'll get a nutrition plan or prescription. And then after each session, you get a follow-up, notes, goals, action items, things like that. But then also another set of resources that are tailored or personalized to what you need, what your preferences are, what your household looks like. Is it just you? Are you cooking for other people? Do you have a family? All these things are really taken into account, and that's the beauty of doing work one-on-one. It's because it can be so tailored, so it can be easier to implement. And then just resources. You get some time to move forward with it. I offer chat and email support in between session, which is great because people can send a photo. Hey, this is my breakfast. What could I change, or does it look good? And we talk through portion size and balance, ingredients used, products, eating frequency. Yeah. And so then they can make change the next day before we meet again. So it's really cool. Like, it's not a lifelong relationship. I kind of worked myself out of a job all the time. But that's the point.
So you touched upon something like eating patterns, right? I know that there's this thing, and tell me, I mean, what are your thoughts on this? The amount of times that you chew has a lot
digestive
to do with digestive, right? And what is it? Is it like you have to chew like a piece of meat how many times?
Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's, again, kind of like the macros, and focusing so much on like these like minute kind of things can add more stress and restriction in a sense around a meal. Just like spitballing, I would say 30, I think it is. Like, it's more than we would like innately think.
That's a lot, though. Think about that.
It's a lot.
And what is the science behind, what is the reasoning behind
because it starts to help you salivate, essentially, which is where the breakdown of enzymes begins. And so it can help. And it's also going to help you connect with your food and slow down and be more aware and give your stomach more time to communicate with your brain when you're full, essentially, right?
So chewing twice doesn't really help.
It's
like,
not going to help
do that.
Much,
like,
right?
bomb, done, swallow it.
What I will say will help more with that, though, than counting the amount of chews that you're having, is if this is dinner, have an afternoon snack. Have a proper lunch.
Yeah.
Have a morning snack.
Yeah.
Have breakfast within an hour to 90 minutes of waking.
Yeah.
All of those things are going to impact how you go into that meal, right?
Yeah.
You know, if you're going out to dinner, don't skip your afternoon snack. Like, your portion size at your next meal is going to be dependent upon how you've eaten before that, right? So that's a very, very powerful tool that can shift your whole relationship with food, how you eat at meals, how you experience meals, what your portion size is at meals, and ultimately how much you consume in a day.
What are your thoughts on intermittent fasting?
I don't promote it. I think I recommend eating breakfast within 60 to 90 minutes of waking.
Yeah.
I think it's great to have 60 to 90 minutes to digest your food at the end of the day. But usually my clients are having breakfast within that time and then eating every 3 to 4 hours throughout the day. It activates your metabolism. It helps with portion control. It helps with blood sugar regulation. And it's non-restrictive. There's a lot around the mental piece of putting these rules on things.
I just can't. We have so many rules in life right now. Like, why would we complicate something that should be pleasurable, right?
And that can be so simple.
It's so simple and it's so easy. Well, again, it's just a perspective, mind shift.
Yeah.
So do you feel like with the people you've worked with, do you feel like it's far more prevalent with women or men that it's centered around this diet culture? I mean, I can kind of guess what your answer would be.
It's a good question.
Yeah, because think about it, right? I mean, the previous guest, we were talking about parasites, and she feels, and she said that it's more prevalent with women because you think about, we've got gut dysbiosis, we've got SIBO, we've got all these issues, and the gut is the brain of our bodies. And when that's not functioning well, everything,
so much is impacted,
right? So do you feel like in your business, in your practice, is it more prevalent with women?
It's a good question, and it's interesting to think about, because I would say yes. I would also say, is that because more of my clientele is women, so that's what I experience more? Is it because women are more open to discussing these things, to communicating about them, to talking within like their friend group or whatnot? So there's referrals and there's things discussed, and then it's less taboo in a sense. Like, is that why that I'm seeing more women? Like, so it's, I think, multifaceted in a sense, and I really don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Right. Who do you enjoy working with more?
It's different. It's different.
I mean, the
it
mindset.
depends on the
mindset,
individual, right?
Yeah.
Too, because sometimes working with men, and this could be also, there's women that are like this, where it's just, give me direction, give me a plan, I'm going to execute, right? And the progress that's made is beautiful, and it's so fun to be a part of. Sometimes, like, the more emotional driven, and this can also be with men. I've worked with plenty of men who have disordered eating and to some degree or whatnot. It's fun to challenge that too. I love what I do, and I love the variety that comes along with what I do.
You know, there's something that we just briefly touched upon, because, you know, when you're a high functioning person, when you're running businesses, whether you have relationships, and you're expected, because of society's expectations, to do A through Z flawlessly, the last thing I know I want to worry about is food.
Yeah.
That is the last thing I want to worry about, which is why when I grocery shop, everything goes bad.
Yeah.
Because I don't have the desire, let alone the bandwidth to go, okay, what am I going to make out of all these beautiful vegetables that I just bought at the farmer's market that's going bad?
Yeah.
Right. So I'm the ideal candidate to say, I don't want to make a decision right now. What meal can I choose from? Right. So can one expect something like that? That experience of, hey, I'm high functioning. I don't want to deal with making these decisions. Can they expect that working with you? Can they expect it from that 7-day reset? Is that something that is a manageable expectation?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So I help my clients really stress less about food from anything and everything, like from planning to grocery shopping to cooking, prepping, building plates, dining out, ordering in. Travel, anything and everything that touches food, so reducing stress around it. Because most people, it is like,
shouldn't be like that.
At 3 p.m., 4 p.m., like, what's for dinner?
Dude, that's me. Like right now, my head's already thinking about, should I go to the grocery store and make a Mediterranean meal tonight? No. The answer is no, because I have no idea how to do that.
Yeah.
Like I'll put some pasta in.
I'll send you my Substack. I share a lot of like resources and plans and things there.
I'm sure you see it with your clients and people that you talk to. It's like, and it shouldn't be that way.
No.
It should not be
taught, right?
No.
The opposite is taught. Diet culture is taught. So they benefit on this, right? And so it's hard. I'll go to the grocery store with clients sometimes, and I love the grocery store. I have a twin, right? My twin who lives in London. At one point, he was up in San Francisco in the city, and we were both there, and he literally was like, "I'm not going to Whole Foods with you anymore. Like I'm not. Like it just takes so long." I love the grocery store. I love the farmers market.
Lazy Acres is my place. Yeah,
I like Lazy Acres a lot. Yeah. I love talking to my farmers, right? Like I love knowing who's.
I love talking to the butcher.
I know,
and they're hot half the time.
I need to go to your butcher.
I had the meat department going, hey, you're cute. I don't need this 2-pound of Wagyu ground beef right now, but I'm going to talk to you. And I don't need that rack of lamb, but I don't even know how to cook it. But I'm going to talk to you. So again, it's about community.
Yeah,
right?
It is. Food is so communal.
Yes.
Food provides so much more than nourishment.
Yes.
Right?
It's
like
pure
it's pleasure, it's community, it's connection, it's joy.
And it's romantic.
It is.
So romantic.
It makes me think of Eat, Pray, Love when Julia Roberts are in the book. I prefer the book, but when she's in Rome and she makes this meal, and I think it was like a cracked egg and asparagus and prosciutto and like bread, and she's lying like on the floor on a blanket, like or a towel in the sun, and it's just like drizzling oil on something. Like it's so sensual. Like it's such a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Like I love food,
and we take that out of it. Right?
Yeah. But like when we're busy, when we're stressed, the simplest thing to do can be just letting it be simple. Like that's where it doesn't have to be so overwhelming, right? Like pick a base, like start with the whole grain, pick a protein, pick some vegetables, get pre-washed salad greens, get arugula, get something that's easy, add a nice olive oil, a good vinegar, some salt. Like
so good.
You can balance out a meal. It can be quick,
So what's a tip? What's one tip you would give somebody out there that's listening or watching to this who is so absolutely over all of this? They're over the convenience of meal prepping because it's bland and it's gross and it's disgusting and they're not trying to be a bodybuilder. What would be the tip? What would be the number one tip you would give to that person who is just like, you know what, I'm at my wit's end, but I love food and I want to have a good relationship? Like, how would they start? What's the baseline tip you would give them?
Yeah, I would say, like, pull it back a little bit. Pick, if you're open to cooking, pick a grain, pick a protein, pick some raw vegetables like cucumber or tomatoes, or like vegetables that you could serve or eat raw. Cucumber, tomatoes, arugula, radicchio, very, very simple things. And maybe you want to get some to roast or have, right? And then we can build different things with it. What you can also do if you're really like at your wit's end with it is at these stores, they have in like the deli section or the pre-made section, roasted vegetables, roasted potatoes, like baked salmon. Use them, right? Start to build it out, have the ease, if you can afford it, the convenience of it and whatnot. Start there maybe. Just reconnect.
Super easy.
It's very, like I always say, it's grocery shopping, farmers market, cooking your own food, then buying food from the grocery store, then dining out, right? So what is that in between, right? Like how do we find something that's maybe a little more sustainable, maybe a little more approachable than cooking right now, but we use a rotisserie chicken. I buy a rotisserie chicken like every other week. Like I love rotisserie chicken. Like let it be simple.
What's an example, like one of the best breakfasts that you can suggest for someone who loves breakfast, but they're over the intermittent fasting. They're trying to get over that whole mindset. Because I love oatmeal. Like oatmeal is my thing because I love fiber in the morning, but I also love protein. So what would be a good example for a good breakfast?
Yeah. Oatmeal, you could do savory with some soft-boiled eggs or some scrambled eggs or some fried eggs, some avocado and some furikake, like the Japanese spice blend. That's delicious. If you want more sweet or fruit-based or whatnot, then I would add some collagen or some protein powder to it when you finish like cooking it.
The oatmeal. Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then top it with some healthy fat, some nuts, some nut butter, and a little bit of some fruit, maybe some flax meal, some chia seeds.
Chia seeds, my love.
Yeah, you can make a chia seed pudding, but you have to prep that. If you want to do eggs and greens, it's like my favorite thing. And I'll do that for lunch too. I love arugula because I don't have to wash it.
Same.
And I love it. I love that peppery bite.
Same.
And I love radicchio. And you also don't have
toast
to,
with an egg. Oh, God.
Or like toast with some lebne on it, like some like.
How about like a sweet potato? Like
so I had that this morning.
Oh my God.
I took a couple sweet potatoes. I just sliced them down the middle. I had my oven at 400, parchment paper because then I don't have to clean up my sheet tray, right? Olive oil, face side or cut side down of the I like Japanese, like white sweet potatoes.
Oh my gosh.
I popped that in for like 30 minutes and then I had one for dinner that night, put the rest in the fridge. I made 2, so I had 4 halves. And the last couple of days for breakfast, I've taken just the cold, like roasted Japanese sweet potato with plain Greek yogurt and crushed walnuts.
I'm so hungry.
And a little bit of maple syrup.
What?
So easy.
Say that again.
So
sweet potato,
plain Greek yogurt, walnuts, hemp seeds, and a drizzle of maple syrup.
And the hemp seed provides protein.
A little bit, but the Greek yogurt is where I'm getting my protein.
And that's like fiber too, the hemp seeds.
The hemp seeds have fiber, Okay. So they're giving me fat and fiber, and then my walnuts are giving me fat, a little bit of protein too, and then a little sweetness from the maple syrup, but it doesn't need much because the sweet potato is so like nice, and,
naturally.
I love that. Cottage cheese is also really good. I'll do that with soft-boiled eggs sometimes, like one and avocado and tomato.
So good.
And then I'll eat it with crackers or with bread. Simple.
It's so simple. So you've spent your career pouring into people. What pours into you? Like, where do you get this source of inspiration? That's the first question. And then we'll wrap it up with this last question. What pours into you that fuels you to continue to do what you do? And what's one thing you're grateful for?
Okay. Farmers markets, dining out, inspiration, cooking myself. I just found this new restaurant. I don't want to like share it, but I'll share it.
Let's do it.
It's so good. It's called Juan Jasper. It's
where's that?
Golden Hill. We should go.
Yes.
It's the best meal I've had in San Diego.
What kind of
hands down? Well, they were a butcher shop, or they are a butcher shop, and then they opened up a restaurant.
Because I'm there.
I asked one of them to marry me the other night. Because the sauce was so good, like so good. It was all a good
Such a simple thing.
But he made this bordelaise sauce that went with the meat. It was phenomenal. Very small menu, changes very frequently, specials every night. Excellent.
So that's what pours into you. Those experiences.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I go to Yin Monday, Wednesday. It's my non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Like. Hard.
So truly it's all about the experience. Like you're living it. Like this is what makes you happy.
Yeah, I love to travel.
So what are you grateful for right now at this
What am I great community? I think I just moved down here from San Francisco a little over a year ago and like meeting you at the coffee shop. Having this conversation.
And we went for a walk.
I find it easier to build here, especially in this space. For me and for the way that I practice and my beliefs and everything. San Francisco is a beautiful city. It's a beautiful place. I'm going tomorrow. I love it. But it's very, very, very focused on like data collection and biohacking in the health and wellness space. And I'm so focused on intuition and pleasure and the experience. There's a little bit of a clash. And so I found it hard to kind of find like my groove in building that there. And it's been really fun here. And life's a bit easier. Families here, all of that.
Super casual too. And you can kind of ease into it because that's really what cooking is about. Just ease into it.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Just allow it to be.
Yeah.
Because you have all the ingredients.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a great metaphor for life.
Yeah.
We really have all of the ingredients that we need. It's up to us how we concoct that recipe.
Yeah.
To ensure the experience is successful and pleasurable. Well, this has been fun. I feel like I'm educated now. If someone wants to reach out to you, how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, my website's Kelly E. Powers, Kelly, E as in Elizabeth, Powers.com. My Instagram's Kelly.Powers, and I'm also on Substack. I believe it's Kelly Powers. So.
And if they want to participate in this 7-day event that's coming up.
Yeah, there's a page for it on my website. If you actually go to my website, there's a banner across the top that you can click on. It'll take you to that landing page.
Okay. So, you guys, if you are looking to jumpstart, I feel like this is a good opportunity for that. Jumpstart just your nutrition, your health, your wellness, community. If you're looking for a sense of belonging, I feel like this event will provide that. Direct message her. And if you don't have an opportunity to reach out to her, direct message me. We'll get you in touch with her. Here is the takeaway from this today. Keep it simple.
Yeah,
like
let it be
just
simple.
Keep it simple. Eat your greens. There are 4 food groups for a reason. And it's not about taking away. It's not about restriction. It's about enhancing.
Yeah.
That's it. That's kind of the gist of what I'm feeling. So, as always, San Diego, we're always happy to bring you enlightening conversations. And if you want more information, reach out to Kelly. I'm now fascinated about butcher shops even more now. I'm now fascinated about farmers markets even more now. And just the simplicity of life. Like less is truly more. Like less is truly more. Kelly, thank you so much for being on today. I'm so excited for this. And I can't wait to see how it all comes out and how it comes to fruition. But San Diego, take care of yourself. Eat your greens. Keep it simple. Less is more. And it's about the experience. Peace out.
Bye.